What is up, Guardians? It's Half Tilt here with another video, and we are back with Calibria Crystal Guardians. Today, we're going to talk about what we love about this game, areas to improve, and some things that could potentially be a little bit more detrimental to the long-term effects. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Here we go. Let's get into it. We're going to start off with the good. So, when we look at this game, we're kind of comparing it to what many would consider to be the gold standard, or the bar, if you will, in this gaming category, in this genre of gacha hero collector style games. That would be Summoner's War. Having said that, the things that I say that are good, bad, and ugly aren't necessarily good, bad, and ugly compared to Summoner's War, but good, bad, and ugly just for this game, things that we like about this game, things I don't like about the game, and things, again, that I feel could be detrimental. So, the good is probably one of my biggest categories here. There's a lot of things I quite enjoy about this game. Let's get right into it. As a new player coming into Calibria Crystal Guardians, just the things they give you, the free stuff, all the abilities you get, largely given through this growth plan, is awesome. Not only are the rewards really good, and the ability to double up on your rewards for a very low cost. If you're looking to spend money in this game, but only a small amount, you can get these double XP cards for, I think, $5 US. It's about $6 Canadian. Not sure too much how much it is elsewhere in the world, but it is in a very amazing value to be able to get all of these rewards. Okay, now the only downside is every time you level up in your growth plan, you get a new one, you have to pay it again to get the double rewards for the new section. It's not for the whole thing, so kind of a downside of it, and I wish that was something that was kind of explained at the start of it, so that people who are maybe only looking to put $5 into the game can do that and know exactly what they're going to get for their value. So a little bit more clarity there would be really nice, but I really love all the things they get you, plus it points you in the right direction for progressing in the game and getting a good start, to get a good grasp of everything. That, combined with your daily quests, will really help to make sure that you're on the right track. And then you've got these fight or advanced trainings, if you will, just guides, levels to focus on, right? So if we go into one here, you get a level 15 hero to start. Then you can kind of progress through all these, collect the rewards along the way. You have to beat each stage in order. You cannot jump ahead. If you do something ahead, then you'll have to come back, clear another area, go back and clear what you jumped ahead on again to progress. But all these things combined really help you focus on what areas of the game you need to progress in. Absolutely love how they've incorporated that and all the stuff they give you. Having said that, wishes. I love the wish system, that you can get multiple wishes in a day. I would like to see somewhere where there's something to show what roughly your rates are, the odds of landing on the different options are. You know, I've already gotten the rune option here once. I got this Evil Summon Scroll today. Other than that, it's mostly been Caliante or Calianite, energy or stamina, and a few small gems has pretty much been what I've got. I got one Ascension Cat, I think, as well. No skill cats yet, and yeah, nothing like that. But still, I love how they've incorporated that. It is definitely a positive and gives you multiple chances throughout the day, up to 4 wishes per day. And you don't have to stay logged in for the amount of time. That countdown timer is going whether you're logged into the game or not, which is really good for one of the other issues that we're going to talk about later on the bad and ugly side of things. Anyways, atop of that, the whole archive system, I really like this, especially with the archive rewards. It gives you incentive to complete your Pokedex, or complete your archive, if you will, just by simply collecting heroes, just by summoning. you can unlock additional heroes that you can only unlock through this means. And I haven't gone through all their skills yet. I don't know how amazing they are because, well, it takes a lot of summoning to do that and a bit of luck as well. So I really like that. Plus, every time you get something new, you can come in here and collect a small reward for unlocking something new. And same when you awaken it or evolve it, sorry. You can come in again and collect a small reward for evolving something. So every entry you get into your archive, you get a small reward for as well, which only is going to help you further progress in the game. On top of that, the rune system, I'm a little mixed on. I don't really like the UI for it, and I'm gonna actually talk about that when we get into the bad section. But there's no cost for unequipping a rune. You can unequip and equip a rune all you want. There is no cost. It is free all the time. That is amazing. That is such a great feature because it doesn't limit your ability to test, theorycraft, and customize your builds as you need based on how much Calionite you have farmed in the game. I really do enjoy that feature. I think one of my absolute favorite things in this game, though, is the skill tree system. This is... It's groundbreaking in this type of game. It is absolutely huge because this is basically like having 2 to 3 monsters in one. Like all these skills that you can get here and switch between at your leisure, no extra cost. The only sort of downside, if you will, and it's not really even a downside, it is appropriate, I agree with how they've implemented it, is that you have to skill these up at each skill individually. The skill ups don't apply to the slot but to the skills, and I agree with that. I think it's a good way of doing it. To have it where it was basically into the slot would be OP. It'd be a little too much. You want to have something to keep pushing for, keep farming for, to drive the longevity of the game. If they just give you everything right out the gate, the longevity isn't going to be there for the game, and it'll die pretty quick. So I like that that's the way it is. But the ability to switch between your skills based on the content you're doing at your leisure, at no cost, I think is huge. And the fact that you can actually lock, if we look down here, you can lock your skills for your arena defense so that you can change your skills freely throughout other areas of the game. And your arena defense skills will always stay the same, so they're not being messed with. And your defense can do what it is there to do. So, great system. I love it. I think that is probably my favorite feature in this game above all else. One of the other things I really like is the UI of this arena system and the shop. So you've got your honor shop here, which you can access either in the arena UI or from the home screen UI. But your totems are in their own menu. And these totems, if you guys don't know, they offer you basically account-wide, team-wide buffs. So this one here, the all HP totem, during any battle increases all heroes' max HP. So every level, I assume every level, I haven't earned enough points to upgrade these yet, will give you an additional 2% HP. This goes to all of your monsters in all content. You've got it for attack, speed, crit damage, and then you've also got faction-specific HP and attack ones as well. For the record, I would prioritize the alls first because they apply to everything, whereas these ones are more specific, and depending on what monsters you're building, maybe you focus one of those towers. But I think these are absolutely imperative to be getting these towers up. So I love that they've separated it from the main arena shop. It's much easier to look at, and it's going to be really easy to see what towers are at what levels and what you need to focus on. So I quite enjoy that. The other big thing is the Otherworld Trials. We've got 3 different Otherworld Trials. The lair is kind of like a raid type of... It's an end game piece of content. I am not as strong enough to compete in this content yet, but it will allow you further customization on your runes, which really you don't need to worry about until your end game anyway. The Spire is a really cool feature. From what I understand, it doesn't ever reset. You just climb. You climb floors. I think there's up to 500 floors, maybe more, according to the challenges that you can compete at. And every time you beat a floor, you unlock a tech point, which you can then go and assign to something to unlock permanent stat buffs while you're in the Spire. So this is actually really neat how they've incorporated this. There's also rewards at every floor, and you go up by every floor. There's also limitations on what monsters you can bring on some floors. You can only bring some of certain faction types into certain stages. So it makes you think outside the box, have a little bit more of a diverse monster box as well to really push up in here. The Vapor Dreamland. This is kind of similar to the Trial of Ascension in Summoner's War, but they've done it so well in this. You have the ability to blitz or jump stages. So as you can see here, I can do stage 43, stage 44, or they have this exchange option, which I can actually close out of. So this is a shop that comes up. Sometimes they have experience cats, sometimes they have scrolls that you can buy for gems, and they, from what I've seen, are pretty good value in terms of your gem costs if you're comparing it to, say, a premium pack. Looks like I can actually drop that out. And so if I was to do stage 44 right now, or even stage 45, I would get the Void Shard, all of the Void Shards for the previous stages should I win, which is really awesome. For the every 5th level stage 45 in this example, or stage 50, you can jump over them, but you won't get the rewards for them. They will stay there until you beat them, and then you can get those rewards. So like the 25 crystals, for example, I wouldn't get unless I actually beat stage 45. I wouldn't get it by beating stage 46. But that's a really neat thing. Now, in these three options that pop up here, like for example, that shop that was there, sometimes, and I think it's maybe after every 10th stage, which is typically a boss floor, you will have something come up which will allow you to basically get a buff, or it's a random chance, you might actually get a debuff. Now, the debuffs tends to only last for 1 to 3 floors, I believe. You might like get 10% less crit damage or 10% less HP for a floor or something for your whole team. And you have to clear the next stage or the X amount of stages in order for that debuff to go away. But the buffs you get, if you're lucky enough to get one, persist for the entire tower floor, or for that entire reset. So I've gotten 3 buffs. I got 2 into crit rate, both 5%, and 1 max HP. So those are applied to my whole team permanently until the reset here in 1 day. The cool thing is this tower resets every 15 days. Twice a month you can get a chance at all these rewards. Apparently there's a hard version too. I don't know how to access it. I'm going to assume by clearing the normal one, then you will unlock the hard one. So you have a chance to get a lot of rewards for this. The rewards can be seen here that you get at every 10th floor, and it is definitely worth the effort to try and push as high as you can in here. So I really enjoy that. The final thing, which this is probably going to coincide with skill trees, is one of my absolute favorite things about this game, is going to be the ability to auto battle. So you have to have cleared a stage initially to get this auto challenge feature, and you can choose which stars. I don't know why I had the 5-star one checked to sell there. It must have been for doing scenarios, but you can basically choose to do up to 5 runs at a time by clicking that auto challenge, and it'll just keep running until you lose a battle. Now, I think it might be a little bit bugged right now because there's an option here to do not fight again on loss. Currently, with this box unchecked, if you lose, it won't fight again. So I haven't actually tested to try it with the box, but I think it's bugged or this is worded incorrectly. That will take some testing to see. But I absolutely love the feature because you can basically choose to auto challenge, put your phone down, walk away, come back a few minutes later, and start it again if you want. And it'll auto sell anything below a certain star level, as you've seen, based on your preference. So that is a really cool feature. The other thing I like is that your elemental or faction dungeons are always open. They're not on a timer. They're not only open certain days of the week. They're always here. So if you need to evolve a monster but you need materials, you can come in and farm them at any time you need. Great feature. That is most of my positives, the things that I really like about the game. Let's talk about some of the bad things. First off, we're going to go back in here to our rune system. The cost to power up runes. Guys, it's a little excessive. Kalinite is not super easy to come by in this game. It's not super plentiful. I imagine later in the game when you're just farming and selling a ton of runes because they're not really upgrades for you anymore, that'll be less of an issue. But Kalinite's a little hard to come by for how much this costs to power up. It is upwards of around, I think, 50,000 Kalinite per attempt to power up from level 14 to 15 on a rune. And considering how much that can fail, you can burn through a couple million Kalinite on one rune in seconds. It's a little expensive in my mind, but to counter the fact that there's no cost to remove runes, it might be there, but I think it's still a little unbalanced there. I would like to see those costs come down fairly significantly. I think around 25 to 30,000 on a 14 to 15 would be still very enforcing in keeping your Kalinite as a Kalinite dump, if you will. You want people to be able to come in and try to power up a rune to like +3, +6, maybe even +9 to see how it rolls. See if it's going to be an upgrade and worthwhile keeping on the account. So that is one thing. The other thing with the rune system that I don't like is the user interface. I kind of touched on this before. What that really comes down to is it's got pros and cons. I love the sell feature. I can sit here, I can go over here, I can auto sell 1 to 2 star or 3 star runes, right? I can just auto sell those out of my inventory. Or you can sit here and highlight a bunch that you want to sell and sell them all. I think that's a really well done feature. What I don't like is the inability to filter your things. You can sort by slot, okay, and you can sort by type. That's really it. I can't sort by stats, okay? I cannot sort by main stat. So if I'm looking at a slot 4 rune and I want crit damage, I can't sort by crit damage here. I have to look at all crit rate, HP, attack, crit damage, defense percent, all of it. I have to see it all. And right now I don't have many runes because I'm still early in the game. One day I'm going to have a ton of runes there and it's going to be a concern. So I would like to see an ability to sort by main stat as well as by substat preference. Like if I want to only look at runes that have speed as a substat, I want to try to be able to filter that out. So hopefully that is something that they will add. I do really actually like, and sorry, I haven't really used this yet, but I like the ability that you can actually just share something in a chat channel. I think that's really a really neat thing to be able to do. It's same with the monster. You can share your monster if you want to share your monster in the chat channel. So if you're in guild or whatnot, you want to share it to somebody, show off what you've got. Oh, hey, check out this rune I've got. I just made or something. You can show them, right? So I think that is a really cool feature as well. On the subject of chat, guys, this chat system is gross, okay? Mostly is the alert system. First off, I don't need to know if someone leveled up an Ascension Cat. Okay? Nobody cares about that. Nobody wants to see Ascension Cat evolutions. Take them out of the alert system entirely. They don't need to be there. Arguably, you don't really even need the 5-star ones unless it's I just summoned a 5-star monster. That's a cool thing to see. But I don't need to see as someone who just ascended something to 5-star, because 6-star is the top level. That's what people want to have showing off, right? I have the ability to show off my monster. Otherwise, this is kind of redundant and spammy. On that subject, the world chat, I don't think, system chat doesn't really need to be here. I think world chat is an appropriate place to show off people that have ascended something to 6-star, pulled a new 5-star, or pulled a 5-star, and plus 15 to rune. That's a good place to show that off in world chat. But I think there needs to be channels in World Chat. Right now, everybody that's on the server is going to be in this one chat channel. And with all the alert spam that's going on in there, it is next to impossible to have a conversation. It is ugly, ugly looking system. Please add some channels, even if it's only 50 channels, 100 channels, whatever it is. Add some channels, let people kind of find a home channel, and reduce the amount of spam we're seeing and keep the spam appropriate to the channel that you're in. I think we'll see a lot of improvements there, and ability to actually develop a bit of a sense of community in the game, on the server, in a channel, that will really help to add to the longevity of the game. Community and the populace is what these kind of games are ultimately all about, and what's going to keep it going. And I think that is something big that will need to happen in the long run. Let's go do a wish, see what we get. On top of that, the guild sizes. Okay, right now, apparently we're allowed to have up to 11. So it looks like maybe we can recruit more people based on the level of the guild. I don't know how I level up the guild. I don't know if there's really any information on leveling up a guild. My understanding is you can have up to 20 people in a guild. I just joined a random guild while I was here. I like the guild rewards. That's pretty cool. The Ascension Cat here isn't always an Ascension Cat. Sometimes it's something else. But that's pretty neat, right? The rest of the guild stuff I do like, but I feel like it's just a bug on how many players you can add to a guild versus it should be 20, 30 people, and it shouldn't be based on the level of the guild. Just let me add people to the guild. If I want to create a guild or if I want to join a guild, it should be able to have X amount of people, and that's it. If you want to employ something with guild levels, have that be like guild buffs. Like I've got the Calionite from battle plus 2%. I'm assuming that's from being a level 2 guild. Again, not really clear here, and that would be something that would be nice to have information on in the game. Yeah, just my 2 cents on the guild subject. Also, it doesn't appear to put alert down there unless I go into the guild first. But again, probably just a small bug. Back to the runes for a moment. One other thing that I think is going to be an issue in this game, and this is coming from my experience with Summoner's War, and I may be a little bit biased on this. Not everybody might agree with this, but I think this is bad. Is the 22% chance at an additional turn is something that has become quite toxic in Summoner's War. To be able to bump that up to 30%, and I've encountered this in the arena already, is kind of gross. Especially if I don't know, I haven't confirmed for certain if this is something that's in this game or not, but if the ability to proc additional turns consecutively, like multiple times in one turn, if you will, it could really turn a lot of people away from the game. Some people really enjoy that though. Personally, I think this is a bad thing. I don't think it's game breaking in any way, not yet anyway, but I don't like it. I would like to see this 6-piece turned into something else. Maybe the 4-piece even kind of reduced to a 20 or a 15% chance at additional turn. Make that a fixed thing. If you want to make a 6-piece, maybe make the 6-piece 22, or make the 6-piece something else entirely. I don't really know what pairs up well with an additional turn type thing, but yeah. That would be a nice change that I would like. The one other thing that I'm going to put on the bad side of things is the arena ranking system. And maybe this is just due to my level in the game currently, how early in the game I am, not being able to push up high yet. If I am wrong, please let me know in the comments below. But right now is the ranking system and the rewards. So as you can see, I'm unranked currently. I don't know if that's by design or if that's a bug. You know, if we go and look at the weekly rewards here and see where I'm sitting currently, I'm a Terminator 2. So that would make me think maybe I should be ranked. Maybe ranking doesn't even happen until you hit the Conqueror level. And this is where I kind of am surprised. Is only the top 30 people on the server are Conqueror? That seems a little backwards to me. Again, maybe this is just me coming from a World of Summoners War where I've been a long time, being used to the Conqueror ranks being a percentage base of the player base rather than a set 30. It just seems really weird to me, and it seems very low. Maybe if that was top 3,000 for Conqueror 1 would be acceptable. But that also somewhat depends on how many people are playing on the server as well, or how many people are on the server. So I love the rewards. I think the rewards in here are absolutely fantastic and definitely is something worth pursuing. I think you guys have really nailed it with the rewards. But the ranking system, I don't like how you've really bottlenecked at Conqueror. You're going to have a ton of people in the Terminator 3 level, and only, if you've got, say, 3 or 10,000 people in Terminator 3 and 30 people above that, seems very inappropriate ratio. That kind of takes me on to my next subject. This one is kind of, is it bad or is it the ugly? Is this something that could be detrimental to the game long term? Servers. So we have stop making servers. We don't need more servers on the game. There's already too many. Problem with that is it really splits your player base up over, and it thins it out over a lot of servers. The servers that are out now, the game's only been out for a week. We've had several servers released already, and additionally, well, I guess it's been out for a couple weeks now. But you're gonna have a bunch of people, they come on the account, they spend a whole bunch of money, they whale out, and then you get a bunch of free-to-play players that come in and are like, oh, well, these guys have already been on here for a bit and spent a ton of money. I'm going to go over to this other server that's a little bit newer where people haven't done that already. And then there's nobody to compete against the people that have spent the money, and there's not enough diversity on the server. There's not enough competition on the server. Maybe that justifies the arena rankings the way they are. But I think long term that this is going to be a problem and we need to stop. There needs to be less servers. Maybe even consider consolidating some of the servers that are out there already. If you want to have regional servers, that's fine if it helps with server stability, like ping times and whatnot. But, that's kind of been the other issue. And again, I know it's a newer game, and there's been a lot of hype and uptake of the game in the first couple weeks, but the server stability issues have been painful so far. I know the devs are working on this, and that making more servers is not the answer. Getting better servers, getting servers that can hold and sustain more concurrent players is the appropriate fix for the long term of the game. Having said that, I have yet to find, and maybe again this is just me, I have yet to find an actual news section in the game. There's no news or update section in the game. We've got limited events, which are really, that's a limited event, sure. The purchase packs that show up on the left side are often called limited events, but they're not really events, they're purchase packs. But there's no news option in the game to see what is going on, what patch notes, dev communications and whatnot. We have to look outside of the game to find that information somewhere. So to have that access somewhere in the game is very important, and I think that's something that needs to be implemented. Two other points that I've on the ugly side of things. One is, here, the succubus here has one. Skins. Okay? Skins have stats. as far as I have seen, skins can only be purchased or acquired via purchasing. $28 Canadian. Gets you 128 skin tickets. And that was how many? Takes 200 tickets to unlock her. I don't know if I have one for any four. There's one for a 3-star. It's 120 for her. So it's not even. And this is like comparing buying a pack of hot dogs and buying a pack of hot dog buns, where the numbers just never line up. That is irritating in and of itself. But this is extremely pay to win, and I don't like that. If you're gonna create a way where those skin tickets can be accessed through other areas of the game that don't require you to already be pay to win to acquire them, such as through PvE content, arena rewards, etc. As long as you don't have to be in the upper top tier where only the super pay to win people live anyway. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that, but at the same time, the skins are cool. I like them. I like the idea of them, but I don't think they should have stats. And if they do have stats, then I don't think that they should have, or they need to be accessible to everyone, including free-to-play players. Just my 2 cents on that. I know some people won't agree with that, and that's fine. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on that subject. The other topic that I want to touch on the ugly side of things, is the ability to go in and see arena defense stats. So I want to go into a duel. I want to see this person's stats. Boom. There's their monster box with their skills, with their runes, all their stats. Everything shows up there. Gross. I go into the battle screen. I can touch on their monster, and I can see exactly what their stats are, what their speeds are. Okay, she's way faster than me. I'm not going to bother fighting that. That guy just lost out on a potential defense win from me because I can already see that it's not worth the fight. Now, I know there's pros and cons to this. The pro is, I just saved myself wasting an arena wing because I know I'm not going to beat that guy without some crazy RNG anyway. But that's not a wise battle for me to go into. So it's good in that sense that I can kind of pick and choose my opponents more wisely. At the same time, it takes that element of surprise. It takes a lot of strategizing out of the game, and it also takes away from the ability to win on defenses a lot. I've gotten a few defense wins. Maybe the people that I lost to haven't seen what this is or how to check this, or they just don't do it. Because I know I don't do it every single fight. I often forget. But I personally don't like that you can do this, and I think it's going to be unhealthy to the long term of the game, especially if you're trying to push into upper ranks in Arena. You want to have a little bit of exclusivity. You want to be able to hide your stuff and have a bit of element of surprise on people with, maybe I have a little bit less of a common build on my defense, and that's going to take people by surprise. They're not expecting it, and that's going to get me wins. And I feel like I should be rewarded for strategizing in that way instead of just being able to go in and say, oh yeah, you're faster than me, or you're too tanky for me, or you do a ton of damage. Yeah, it becomes a little too easy in that sense. So that's my idea of the good, the bad, and the ugly. One thing I didn't touch on, which it could be taken as good or bad, is the summon rates in the game. They definitely feel very high. The monster box, the monster pool in the game isn't very large yet. So at this early in the game, a lot of people are going to have a lot of everything, which is really cool. And I really like it. The feeling of summoning something, a 5-star monster, even some 4-star monsters, is great. I love it. And I know everybody else is loving it too. But long term, if everybody's got everything, like once you've acquired everything, summoned everything, is there a lot of incentive to keep playing? And that's something that I think might need to be considered. I don't know that reducing the summoning rates is a terrible idea entirely, but it really depends how accessible scrolls are. LD scrolls are very difficult to come by unless you're purchasing them, and the summon rates are generous, and I think that's fair, considering how many scrolls you get. Mystical scrolls, you can come by, or Diamond does in early game. You come by tons of them early game, but I definitely see as now I'm starting to get out of that super early game and into, you know, a mid game-ish area, that they're slowing down in acquisition a fair bit. So, you know, maybe the rates won't be so bad in that scenario then, right? Because you don't want to go months without summoning something. If you're summoning regularly, you don't want to go months without getting something, because that's demoralizing. It doesn't make you want to play the game either. So, important considerations. I think all in all, it's a good thing. I didn't talk about graphics in this. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the graphics in this game, and you know, the character models I quite enjoy. The background, the color palette and everything, it is a little bland, but I mean, it's art. This is an art style, and if it doesn't appeal to you, that is absolutely fine. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean they're gross. It just might not appeal to everyone. I like the animations on a lot of things. I like the character models, and you know, it took a bit to grow on me in some areas, but I like it. The color palette, yeah, it's not my favorite, but again, it's an art style. If you don't like the art in the game, you don't have to play the game. It's that simple. If you do like the art, come try the game out if you haven't already. It is actually a lot of fun, as long as the servers are working and up so that you can log in and play. Yeah, all in all, I have very much been enjoying my time with Calibria Crystal Guardians. I encourage you to try it out if you haven't already, and if you like it, keep playing. If not, at least you tried it out. You know, it doesn't cost anything. It's a free game to play. It is very free to play friendly, which I really like. As I said, there's a lot of stuff given out early game to help you progress and point you in the right direction. And yeah, anyway, that is going to be it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and I will see you in the next one. Rock on.